welcome to Bowls 360. Today's show is going to be about the ranking system that I've developed for the site and for our bowlers in WA. I saw the men's state team released a couple of weeks ago, and there were some surprise omissions and surprise names, and I thought, well, do we have a definitive way to look at our bowlers to find out where they sit in the scheme of things? And I've based my rankings purely on form, recent form, the last 3 years worth of results at various events, and I'll go through which ones in a minute. And I wanted to see where people sat and where they are in the ranking system to see if we've missed out on a couple, if some people are flying under the radar, and what the wash up is. So let's go through it and see what you think. So I've broken it up into two categories. I've got state events, so that includes that. Basically, it's open to everyone can play in these. So state singles, pairs, triples, fours, mixed pairs, and for the ladies, the 100 up. So really, anyone in WA can enter these events and play in them. So for me, the value on those is worth a bit more. So if you win, you get 10 points. If you're a runner-up, you get 9, and so on and so forth down the line. For the other type of event we have are the restricted events. They're just events that you have to achieve a certain result in order to play in them. So things like the Masters, singles, pairs, and triples, you have to have won a club event, that particular club event, or I think we all know the Masters rules. So the Champion of Champions is obviously the singles winner for that year at your club, and Country Week, where you can only live in the country to play in those. So for me, they're restricted type events, so the value on them is not as high because it's not open field. The winner will get 7 points, the runner-up 6, and so on and so forth. So have a look at those and see what you think, and certainly place a comment as to what you think the scoring system should be. Should I have more for the winner? Should the winner, say for the open events, get 12 or 13 and then keep the same? Should the winner of the restricted events get 9 or 10 and then a bit lower there? So I certainly welcome any feedback on it. It's a work in progress, and it's not definitive yet, and it's not perfect. There is no perfect ranking system, I don't think, but we'll see how it goes. The other thing I've done is I've got results over 3 years, but each year will degrade in value. So if you're the current title holder of an event, so if you're the current state singles winner, then you'll get 100% of that score. If you are last year's singles winner, you'll get 75% of that score. And if you're the year before's winner, you get 50% of that value. So if you won the state singles 2 years ago, you'll get 5 points, and so on and so forth down the line. I'm just trying to highlight current form or recent form. I value form in the last 12 months a bit higher than form from 3 years ago or 2 years ago, for example. So that's why I've done it that way. And let's see where that washes up in the scheme of things. So let's look at the men first. So I've put all the results in for the last couple of years. The current title holder there, and the previous title holder, and the previous before that. So 3 years worth of results we've put in. The number one person ranked in the men's at the moment is Warren Holt, by a fair way too. He's 105 rank score. He's 35 ahead of our ranked second-ranked player Daniel Trella. And for those who might have been a bit surprised at Warren Holt's selection in the Perth Suns team, you can probably see why. This is a nice little table of recent form. You can see why he got selected. He won the state triples, semi-finalist in the Champion of Champs singles, Masters singles, mixed pairs, quarter-finalist in the state singles, runner-up in the Masters triples, round of 16 in the state pairs. And it's not just his current year that he's gone well in. If you go back at the previous area, runner-up in the state singles, a quarter-finalist in the fours, the Masters triples, the state pairs, semi-finalist in the Masters singles, and so on and so forth. So, and even the year before that, he's got a lot of good results. He's someone who consistently gets to the back end of tournaments in no matter which one he plays in. So he's had a lot of good form over a number of years now, and he deserves to be our number one ranked player. Daniel Trella is our second ranked player, and he also consistently gets to the deep end of tournaments over, what, 10 or 15 years, really. He's done that for us. So if I did it for over that stretch of time, he would be our number one ranked player, I am sure. Blake Nan is our number 3 ranked person. Justin Opie ranked 4 and Maddie Mitchell ranked 5. So you may notice the colours here. The yellow highlighted names are those that are currently in our state squad, and these brown ochre coloured names are those who I think have made themselves unavailable for state selection for one reason or another. And I could be wrong, so if you're one of these people and you are available for state selection, then let me know and I'll change the colouring. But if we had those guys available for our state side, how good would it would look? Hell of a lot. It would look very good, wouldn't it? But Daniel Trello, Opie, Shane Knott, Russell Bates, Cody Packer, of course, doesn't live here at the moment. Blake Butler, John Slavich, unavailable at the moment. So the reason I did the rankings was to see if there were any people that may have slipped under the radar a bit who you're not aware of. The one that leaps out of you really is Maddie Mitchell, isn't it? Grand finalist in the Masters, won the Masters pairs recently, runner-up in the Country Week singles, quarter-finalist in the fours, round of 16 in the state fours, round of 32 in the state pairs, and even previous to that, the previous year, he won the Country Week singles last year, runner-up in the state fours. So he's had some good results. He's ranked at 5 and he's not in the state squad. This name here, David Goddard, is probably someone that not too many people would be familiar with. His last 12 months have been exceptional. He's a name that people are going to want to keep an eye out for in events, because he is putting together a lot of good results in the last 12 to 18 months. So I'd be very surprised if he replicates something close to that in the next 12 months. He'll obviously be high on the rankings, and I would think he'll be in state squad recognition. Go Faulkner's a bit of a... He's someone who's been around the traps for a long time, and as you can see, he's had a pretty good year. Quarter-finalist in the Masters singles and state fours, semi-finalist Masters triples, and got through his section in the pairs and the singles. We scroll a bit lower. Brad Ball is always thereabouts. Miles Kemp is someone that maybe deserved a spot in the state squad, at least in the state squad. He's won a couple of, obviously they're the state pairs this year. Last year he was our state triples winner, and the year before I even think he didn't, but he's got a couple of state events under his belt, so he probably might be someone. Matt Whiteley is a guy that's under 30, just probably needs a couple of deeper performances there to highlight himself, but he is largely earning the same as Sergen Pasalic, who's got a lot higher recognition at the moment, and probably deservedly so. But Matt Whiteley is someone who is also under 30 and may should be looked at in the going forward. Glenn Pauling, of course, we know. Troy Kinane is another name that seems to go pretty well in tournaments without winning too many, but always gets to the past his section in events and stuff like that. Doesn't always, but has a pretty good state record result. So they're the ranking system for the men. What I might do is show you our state squad. Let's filter that. So that's our current state squad and where they all sit. So we've got Warren Hall, Blake Nan, Ben Leggett ranked 6, Scott Walker 7, Kyle McElroy 10, Jack East 14, Clive Adams 17, Sergen 21, and so on and so forth. So you can draw your own conclusions from that. It's another reason why I wanted to do the rankings, because when the state squad came out, I thought there were some names in there that were a bit of a surprise. Obviously, there are people that are selected because of their age and their potential. People like Cam Harris, Callum Alberti, Connor Biddle. They're all under 30, and they're all got a lot of promise going forward. Obviously, Matty France got selected on his Country Week form, and not much else. So I'd like to see these sort of guys go. I mean, as a bowler here in the state, I'd like to see these sort of guys do some things in other state events. Kevin Mackay, obviously a state player from days gone past, so hopefully within the next 12 months we'll see him start to feature, go up the table a bit. But there it is. They're the men. You can pause the video and have a look and see what you think. I'm also going to post these rankings on my Bowls 360 Google Sheet, the one that's got our state pennant results. I'll be putting those rankings up there today. I'll share the link below, so you can click on that and have a look and see where you sit in the scheme of things. So there are, I mean, it's every single, essentially everyone who gets out of their section will get a ranking score. So for the men, there are 611 ranked men. So if you've got out of your section in a state event in the last 3 years, then you'll feature in this list. Let's have a look at the ladies. So it's all the same for them. The same scoring system and everything. Our number one ranked lady, which may surprise some, may not surprise a lot of others, is Lisa Featherby. She's got a 100.8 ranking score from Christina Christic, who is now Christina Van Nierup. I've got to go through and change all these tables, so I can update that for her married name. Look at Lisa Featherby though. She just about always guaranteed of getting to a semi-final of a state event, just about. So she's won the 100 up in the mixed pairs, runner-up in the Masters singles, semi-finals in the state singles, Masters pairs, quarterfinals, triples, and even last year. Look at last year's results. I haven't held the name there, but winner in the 100 up in the pairs, semi-finals, singles, and triples. Just a massively good, consistent performance there. And obviously, Christina goes with that saying. She always, doesn't always, but generally shows up pretty deep in events. A lot of titles there on the page, highlighted in green. Number 3 is Chris A. Swatson. Number 4 is Lara Butler. Number 5 is Lisa Smith. Lisa, I must admit, is a bit of a surprise, but that's why I like to do these rankings, so you can see a real snapshot of what they've done over the last 12 months. And obviously she's had a good 3 years worth of results to be that high. Amanda Masters there is probably someone that might slip under people's radar. Helen Moore's always consistently around the place. So they're our top ladies as well. The state side hasn't been selected for the ladies, so we aren't able to compare where they sit in the scheme of things. The 20 odd ladies that will be in the state squad, their squad trials are going on at the moment, so when we know more about them, I'll highlight them and also put them in the link. Oops. So that's it. What do you think? I'd love to hear your feedback on it, because I'm happy to change some things if there's a body of people that want to do a different scoring system or slightly alter the scoring. I think that's a fairly accurate way. If I'd asked you who your number one male and female were, I reckon you'd have picked someone in the top 3 or 4. So I think it falls within the mark as to how we want it to look. After every state event and after every restricted event results, I will update the sheet as well. So the next one coming up is the champion and champion singles in a couple of weeks. We then have the mixed pairs in May, and for the men, the Masters singles in late May at Mount Lawley. So after each of those events, I'll update the rankings and post them on the Google Sheet. So keep your eye on that. Of course, it'll go into a bit of a hiatus until we hit the state fours in October. As I said, love for you to comment, like and subscribe the videos. Your feedback is most appreciated, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.